Hello, everybody. I'm Ramon. I'm from Yeastar training team. And it's a great opportunity for me to have this chance to talk to you about Yeastar product here today. Okay, so we will be talking about the VoIP solution of our company, Yeastar. We will be firstly introducing the equipment, so the hardwares, the PBXs, and the gateways. Of course, we will be talking about specifications, features, characters, highlights to give you more information about the equipment that you install for this very solution. And of course, more importantly, we will be talking about how our solution can help you create more opportunities by offering your customers a more efficient, more economical telephony system that can really help their business in many ways under different scenarios. So this is our main topic today. Okay, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay. First of all, as I have said, we'll be talking about the PBX. Well, PBX is what we mainly focused on. So if you know Yeastar, I believe some of you guys know Yeastar, some of you guys probably don't. But Yeastar, us, we are focused on PBXs. Our company started by making PBXs, and what you see here is already our third generation PBX, hardware-based PBX. You see 5 models here, okay? Well, I believe you guys can read better than I do. I will go through all those models very quickly for you guys and only mention a few points that you will be probably interested in. We have, as you can see here, 5 models, S412 that support 20 users, S20 that also support 20 users, S50 that support 50 users, S100 and S300, which can support up to 500 users. So our PBXs can offer solutions for offices range from 20 users up to 500 users. So it's safe to say that our PBX, with our solution, you can cover most requirements you find in the market. And of course, we have even bigger PBXs, but we're not going to be talking about those today. We have PBX that can support up to 2,000 users. But as I have said, let's leave it to our next webinar. The first thing I want to mention, you probably already noticed, is that the S412 and S20, even though there are 2 models, they support both 20 users. The thing is, S412 is designed for those small offices who prefer using analog phones over IP phones. Well, they exist, and mostly probably because of limited budgets or any other reasons, some people may still prefer using analog phones in their system. And as a small PBXs, we think it will be better if we will be able to connect directly those analog phones to this PBX, to the SIP server. So we have embedded by default 12 access ports in this PBX to make sure that if the customer is using more analog phones, it will be directly connected. They don't need any extra hardware. Well, while S20 is designed to use IP phones. So if a small office that use IP phones, then they can choose S20 as their SIP server. Okay, then we have an S50. That is the one that is designed for offices with less than 50 users. Well, as you can see here, S100 and S300 are scalable PBXs. So with S100, it comes with 100 users by default, but if you need, you can upgrade it to 200 users. And of course, with S300, you can start it with 300 users, but you can expand the system up to 400 users or 500 users. Of course, the numbers of concurrent calls are also expandable. So with those 5 models, we actually can offer right PBX, most suitable PBX for different kinds of customers. For especially with S100 and S300, those who don't want to spend too much on their telephone system one time, or those who are look more into the scalability, the scalability of their system. Okay, we have the choices for them. Also, at the same time, our PBX is an IP-based PBX, so the setup is really, really easy. Okay. First of all, well, I believe most of you guys know this because this is an IP-based PBX. All you need to do is to use the local network, the internet cables that is already existed in every office in this world, and you can just set up the telephone system with this local network. Unlike traditional analog PBXs, which you have to do extra cabling from every table to the server to make sure that the telephone system get connected. Okay, with IP-based PBX, that is to say our PBX system, you don't have to do that. Okay, and then our PBX is, if you need to configure our IP PBX, you will find out it's also very, very easy to do because we have a web GUI that is totally graphic, and it's a web-based web GUI. So all you need to do is to put in the IP address or local IP address of your IP PBX, and well, of course, make sure the computer you use get connected in the same local network as the IP PBX. And you will be able to get into the PBX and configure the system. You don't need any extra client. You don't need to remember to memorize the command lines to understand those things that every manufacturer have that is slightly different from other manufacturers. Everything is graphic. Okay, you just click and set this way you can very easily set up your telephone system. Okay, our PBX have a huge features list. Okay, huge features list, and even this list is in this list we didn't include all the features we have. Okay, here I like to mention a few very, very important features. Then we can move forward. Okay. First of all is phone provision. Okay. Well, phone provision will make your work so much easier. So we support, as you can see here, most major brands IP phones. We didn't have all the brands we supported listed here. We support Yealink, we support Snow, VTech, and Cisco HTech. So all those IP phones is supported for auto provision. That means you don't have to register a phone one by one to the PBX, to the PBX extension. All you need to do is to set up a few parameters and provisioning, and the registration will be done in bulk automatically. So I don't know what IP phone is important to you, but as you can see here, as I have said, well, most of those major brands are supported. If you have questions, of course, you can ask me. Oh, sorry. By the way, we will have a Q&A session after the presentation. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. I will give you an answer right away. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. And then we support hotel PMS integration. We have hotel PMS integration, of course. This will give you a possibility to operate your telephone system for hotels. I will be talking about this a little bit later. Trunk capability is very, very important. Our PBXs has been installed for many years all around the world, in America as well. Okay, we started our business in America, I believe 9-10 years ago. So yeah, our PBX has been installed in America for that long, and during that time we work with multiple multiple providers. We can make sure that the trunk you use for your customers is compatible. And of course, we have R&D team specialized for that. So if you have issues with trunk capability, talk to us, we can help you. And then, of course, CRM integration, that is a very, very basic stuff these days. We also, here we have a list of all the CRMs we supported by now. We support Sugar, we support Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, of course, together with a few other CRMs. Of course, we have that. So with CRM, that means, well, of course, the customer will use CRM to maintain a synchronized data, real-time updated data for their sales team or for any other team that needs to contact their customers from time to time. Our PBX can, of course, integrate with CRM that can make window pop out when the call come in, of course. So if a registered customer call up to the PBXs or call up to the company, and the numbers matches from the database, and a window will pop out, in all the customer information. So the IP SIP phone agents will be prepared even before answering the phone. Okay, while the phone is ringing. And of course, we have click to call. That means the customer, if the CRM is integrated, then if your extension users need to call up the customers, all they need to do is to click on the telephone number on the CRM, and the call will be sent out. Okay. We have, and of course, you can configure or register call journal from the CRM. Of course, we support this feature. Call center integration. This is also very important. We are working with a third-party call center key provider, and to offer call center solution for our customers, of course. Once again, I will be talking about this later. We have API interfaces. That means if you need to integrate with our telephone system with other third-party platform, whatever that is, a CRM that we don't currently support, an AO system, any system you have. Well, as long as they have this third-party platform has a standard API interface, we can do the integration with no problem at all. Okay. Of course, there are many other features as I have mentioned. And what I can say is all the features you see on this page is free. Okay, we don't charge for any license for all those features that you have here. And no license fee with full capacity. This is very important. I'll give you an example, IVR. So if you are working with other PBX, if you have experience working with other PBX providers, you will find out they have a limited IVR by default. And if your customer need more IVR, their default IVR is well, not enough in most cases, if I'm being honest. So if your customer need a normal working IVR, they will have to pay the license. Well, all the features we have on this page will give you with no license with full capacity. Okay, so you don't need expansion. Well, let's take IVR. Okay, IVR, we have 30 levels of IVR by default. That's way more than enough. That's an overkill for most systems. Okay. And the IP PBX that works as a SIP server. We also have our UC applications that which works together with your IP phones on your desktop. That can work as a host solution for the terminals of your telephony system. So your IP phones, with your IP phones you use in your office. If there's call coming, you answer with your IP phones, and if you need to you need to call others. If you need to call your customer, you call your clients. You pick up the phone, you dial the number, it gets sent out by your PBX through your company trunk. This is how it works. This is how a enterprise telephony system works. But if you're out of the office, you won't be able to use your IP phones. But if you have this Linkus UC application installed in your mobile phone, you will still be able to register to the PBX as a remote extension. You can share the same extension number, and you will also be able to receive phone calls made to you and make phone calls through company trunks when you are out of the office. So all it requires is internet. So if your mobile phone gets internet, well, if you have Wi-Fi or you have mobile data, as long as your mobile phone can be connected to the internet, you will be able to make and receive phone call with no problem at all, even you are out of the office. Well, this is a soft phone feature, of course. This UC application, which called Linkus, is developed by Yeastar. You can find that in Apple App Store. You can find that in Google Play. Well, of course, we have PC client, so you can also install this and use it. There's no problem at all on MacBook or on Windows. Well, you can find those. You can once installed, your PC or your computer laptop will also be able to work as an extension, of course. Well, what I have described before is a standard soft phone feature, right? So it is a soft phone. It comes with all the soft phone features that you will need. Okay, you can receive and make phone calls through a company telephone system, of course. You can check the state. You have a list of all the extensions, which will be your colleagues, of course. You can initiate a conference call on your mobile phone with Linkus with no problem at all. Other than that, it is also a client, which comes with an instant message feature. So you can talk, you can send messages to your customers. Sorry. You can send messages to your colleagues, send and receive messages to your colleagues with your colleagues. You can have group chat. You can also share files, sending pictures, things like that. And more importantly, all the data is synchronized across platform. That is to say, if you have an iPhone, if you have a mobile phone and a PC, all registered to the same extension number, all the data will be synchronized. So if you have a recording from your IP phone, you will be able to check that on your mobile phone. And of course, if you have a voicemail, you can check with any equipment that is most convenient for you. So if you just wake up and if you just wake up from your bed, you can just check, you can just open up your Linkus from a mobile phone and see if you have a voicemail or not. If there is, you can just download and check this voicemail. Of course, the chatting data, meaning all the data, all the logs from the chatting, from your file sharing, the images, the pictures that you sent with your colleagues will be synchronized. And our with the Linkus PC client, we also have CRM integration. So you can actually integrate your Linkus PC client with CRM to have window call, to have call pop out, to have click to call features with no problem at all. Okay. So with Yeastar PBX, what you have is a solution that works both internally or externally. So if you are in the office, you have your IP phones. If you're out of the office, you have your mobile phone also registered to the PBX. You won't miss any business calls. You will be connected to the company telephone system whenever you all the time. And of course, as you can see here, we have gateways. So if your customer are using analog phones, we have different types of gateways, and gateways work especially fine for hotels, because with hotels, the room phones are always analog phones, or most room phones are analog phones. So you will have to use gateways for that. And of course, if your customer have legacy trunks, or if your customer have analog trunks, have E1 trunks, they can be connected directly to the PBX, or you don't have enough interfaces, enough space, you can, or if it will be more easy for you to set up, you can always use gateways for the same purpose. Okay, we have gateways for E1 trunks, for analog trunks. We even have GSM trunk. That means you can insert a SIM cards for mobile phones in these gateways, and you will be able to make and receive phone calls from those SIM cards. So this is a basic topological graphic of a telephone system made from offered by Yeastar. Okay. Well, as I have mentioned, we can support legacy trunks. So, well, if your customer have as I have said, legacy trunks and need to be connected physically to the PBXs, we have different kinds of modules for this. So our PBX is modularized. You can actually customize the interfaces on the PBX. That means you can decide what kind of interfaces you need and how many of those interfaces you need. This actually means every cost of the equipment you sell out can be adjusted according to the case you have. Because with different case, they need different kinds of interfaces, so you can offer them modularized PBXs with different amount of interfaces, hence different amount of hardware. So that means different prices, adjusted prices. Not only with legacy trunks. For example, your customer have a legacy PBX, probably an analog PBX that they have used for some time, and they want to expand their system, but they don't really want to just throw out their old PBXs and buy a brand new one. That's okay. Our PBX, you can use those modules to create connection with their legacy PBX. There's no problem at all. Then those two telephone systems can be integrated, and they can keep their old system while expand their new system with our IP PBX. And of course, this connection also can work remotely with our gateways. So that means, for example, your customer have an office in California, perhaps. They have another office in Texas, perhaps, and they have an old PBX in Texas. They want their PBX to be connected, so well they don't, so they can make free internal phone calls, right? It can be done. Okay, we have gateways. All they need to do is to use a gateway and in Texas and get connected through internet with no problem at all. This I will also be introducing in the future. So what I am trying to say here is that we have modules that can offer connections to legacy PBXs, to physical trunks like PSTN trunk, A1 trunks, BRI trunks, things like that, with no problem at all. And of course, as I have mentioned, our PBX is modularized, so that means you can customize every PBX you sell out according to the case you have. Well, this is or as I have mentioned, this is an all-IP solution, and this is how a Yeastar gateway can work as a bridge with our all-IP solution with that can be connected with a legacy traditional analog or E1 based system. So this is how it works. Okay. As I have mentioned, we have if you're let's get back to the example we had. So we have Texas on the left, we have California on the right. In Texas, they have their PBX system. They have the traditional PBX system already configured sometime for a while. They need to be connected to California so they can make internal phone calls, right? So on Texas side, because it's a legacy PBX system, it doesn't get connected with the internet. But we can use an gateway as I have said, the bridge, and you can convert any legacy signal you have, probably an analog, to IP, and then get connected to your all IP system in California. So our PBX system, even though is as I have said, all IP solution, it works with analog or legacy trunks. It works with analog phones, as I've said. It even works with other legacy telephone system with Yeastar gateway in between. So it can really works in many different scenarios. And as I have said, if your customer have an old system that they don't really want to abandon, well, they can also use our IPPBX as the expansion if they need. Okay. So I have mentioned the California-Texas offices interconnection situation. In my last example, so you have one office in one place and other place in others. Well, nowadays it's a very common situation because many companies have operations all over the country or all over the world. They will have to set up offices in different places to deal with their businesses. So branch office interconnection has become more and more important these days because, well, normally, if a company have branch offices, let's say, in different countries, constantly the employees of different offices will have to call each other for work, and even now sometimes they will have to do conference calls from time to time. So yeah, so if they do conference calls from time to time, they will have to make phone call from one country to another, or from one place to another. If that's an international company, then the phone bills will be large because every call will have to be an international phone call, and that is expensive. So branch office interconnection, when we talk about branch office interconnection, people will need it to reduce their phone bill. That's very important because with an IPPBX, we can actually register IPPBX mutually in different places, and this way, when your customer try to make a phone call from their branch office to another branch office in another place, this call will not have to go through the service provider network. No, it only goes from one PBX through the internet to the other PBX. So this will make the call totally free. So if you really think about it, with international or even not international, national enterprises that have operations in different places, this can save them a lot of money from phone bill. So this is why people need branch office solution. And to be frankly, we Yeastar, as you have already seen, we have over 400 features in our features list. Most of them are not very commonly used. Well, those features are used for especially part of customers in certain industries, but for others, they may never use these features. But branch office solution is actually something that most people will use or even will consider when they choose a telephony system. We have a couple of solutions. We have in total 4 ways to interconnect your business. What I am showing you here is the most basic one. So we realize the interconnection through SIP trunking. That means every PBXs will work as a SIP trunk to PBXs, and they will be connected mutually through the internet. This will require a static public IP address on each office, and of course, port forwarding. This is how it works. With this connection, you will be able to interconnect all those offices and make free phone calls between offices with no problem at all. And if you plan the extension number in each office's carefully, you will be able to make direct dial call across offices. That means if somebody, well, let's get back to the Texas, California example, okay? If someone from the Texas office will call another employee, call his colleague in California, he don't need to dial anything else. All he need to dial is the extension number of this person. It's just like they are in the same office, even though they are not. So this is the basic solution by SIP trunking. As I have said, they register to each other as SIP trunk. But as I have said, this requires static public IP address and port forwarding. If you are familiar with this, you will know. Well, this will certainly increase the possibility of your system get hacked. Because when you have static public IP address, you have port forwarding, that means your system will be opened and accessible to the public internet. It's not safe. So to avoid this, we also support VPN. That means our PBX system can work as a VPN server. You can set up the PBX in your headquarters, for example, or it doesn't necessarily have to be in the headquarters, but you can set up your most powerful Yeastar S-Series IP PBX as a VPN server. And you can include all other PBX, all the terminals in the telephone system as VPN client in your telephony system. So this way you have created a VPN system specially for your PBXs. You will need router, of course, because our PBX doesn't work as a router. Okay, it's a SIP server for SIP-based VoIP telephony system. So, but if your customer don't really have a VPN set up and don't really want to spend too much of their resource on creating a VPN network, but they need the security, we have an option for that. Okay, as I have said, I will say it again. We can set our PBX as a VPN server, especially for the telephony system. Okay, you cannot stream videos from our PBX, of course. And you can include all other PBXs, all other terminals as VPN client and create a VPN system, especially for your telephony system that set up across the country. So this way, it will be more safe than simple port forwarding and SIP trunking branch office interconnection. If you are working with a bigger enterprise, that actually will be a lot easier because the thing is, most big companies, enterprises have already their VPN network set up. That will be ideal for us because our PBX works perfectly fine as a VPN client that can work under their VPN network. This way, you will have all the features benefits that comes with branch office interconnection. The free the free phone calls from one place to another, the direct dial, things like that, was no problem at all, and it will be perfectly safe. No, not perfectly safe, but it will be pretty safe under their VPN network. So when it comes to branch office solutions, I will repeat, we support the most basic way, with SIP trunking, with port forwarding to static public IP address. It's easy, it's cheap. It's not that safe, to be honest, but that's an option for you. And of course, if the customer don't have VPN service, they can set our PBX as a VPN server to create such a telephone system under their own VPN, specialized VPN, with no problem at all. And of course, if the customer has VPN, that will be ideal for us. Our PBX and all telephony system built around our PBX can work perfectly fine as a VPN client under their VPN network. So you will have all the features, all the benefits with minimized risk. Of course, here we also have an alternative. This is a special function in our PBXs. Well, compared to, traditionally, you will have to set up SIP trunking, as I have said, you see in this presentation also, in all the PBXs, and you will have to have static public IP address or port forwarding in each point. That is troublesome. That requires a lot of work. And if your customer is running business internationally, well, even though static public IP address is basically free in United States, but it's not the case in many other countries. Okay, static public IP address can be really, really expensive. In China, it's very expensive. In many countries, it costs a lot of money. So if your customer is running business internationally and is setting up offices in other countries, beside America, they may have this problem. Okay, they may have to pay a lot of money to buy a simple static public IP address, which is free in the US. Well, We can avoid that with another specialized function in our PBX. Which is called multi-site interconnect. So with multi-site interconnect, you can always set up your head office, your headquarters in the US with static public IP address with port forwarding, there's no problem at all because, well, it's basically free in the United States. And they're in their branch office located in other country, they will not need any static public IP address at all. And it also works if the customer have all their branch offices in America, of course. As long as they have internet, it works. But it will benefit more for the customer if they have their overseas branch offices set up in other countries, because, well, in other countries, as I've said, static public IP address can be very expensive. So all the branch offices will be able to register to the PBXs, and this way form a multi-site interconnection telephoning network with no static public IP address needed in any of the branches. Only one static public IP address and port forwarding is needed only in the headquarters, which I would recommend that you set in the US because, well, it's free in the US. And of course, because, well, instead of port forwarding and static public IP address in each point, now you have one. Well, you can say it's a lot safer, but to be frankly, we would still consider VPN to be the most secure way. That's very important. Okay, so now we have four options for branch office interconnection. Okay, let's go through this again. Okay, first we have the most basic one, the SIP trunking. That means you have to set static public IP address and port forwarding on each of your office, and the PBX will register mutually to each other as SIP trunk. This is the most basic way. Okay, but it comes with all the features you need. And then if your customer would prefer a more secure way, then we will surely recommend VPN, right? But if the customer don't have VPN and don't really want to, spend their resources to spend their budget on a VPN service, you could set up a VPN service purely by a PBX. Of course, you will need a router once again, by your PBX system. So our PBX can work as this VPN server, and other equipments, other PBX as VPN client register to the PBX, and you will be having a specialized VPN network for your telephony system. And of course, if your customer have already a VPN network, that will be perfect. Okay, our PBX works as VPN client under VPN network. It will be the most ideal, secure, but more expensive way to have a branch office interconnection all over the places. And of course, here, if the customer don't have VPN and is not considering setting up one, and they are having also international business branch offices in different countries. In other countries, the static public IP address is expensive, and if they don't want to invest on that, they can also have this multi-site interconnect solution, which requires only one static public IP address and port forwarding instead of one IP address on each point. Okay, so this way you can have the free one in the US with no problem at all, and interconnect with branch offices all over the country that requires no extra static public IP address and port forwarding. Okay, so 4 solutions in total for different kinds of situation. Hospitality. Okay, hotels are a great business especially for us, because with hotels, you can offer them many solutions. That means many opportunities for us. So if you have connection, if you have connection in this business, you have your way to go. We Yeastar offers telephony system. Of course, we want to offer you chances. We want to give you chance. We want to give you PBXs and telephony system that have the chance to get into the hotel system. When it comes to hospitality, well, the telephone system itself is quite standardized because this business, hotel business, is quite standardized. The telephone system is always the same. Okay, the SIP server, a PBX that works as a SIP server, of course, works with FXS gateways, which Yeastar have. That will offer that with that way they can connect room phones, which will be analog phones, to their PBXs, and of course the hotel can have some IP phones for higher end rooms and for the offices, for the people working in the hotels. So the telephone system itself is nothing complicated for us. The thing is with the PMS, all hotels comes with a property management system, a PMS. That helps them run the hotel. So it's a basically very complicated, sophisticated piece of software that works probably on a specialized server locally in the hotel. The key here is for any hotel business is to integrate the PBX to the PMS system. We can do that. Okay, we have our PBX is with our PBX we can work with over 100 PMS, which you can find a list in our website www.yeastar.com. You will find the list, and of course you can talk to your talk to your distributor StreetWave here. Once registered, it comes with a couple of features that you will need for your PBX system to work with PMS. For example, the wake-up calls you will need to make. You will need to make wake-up calls for your customer, for the people who live in the hotels, right? Wake-up calls. You will be able to lock and unlock the phones if the room is registered or checked out, and of course you will be able to make a reservation, and you should be able to make emergency calls. You should be able to charge for using the room phone to make outbound calls. Well, even though nobody really uses this nowadays, but this is also a necessary feature for for a hotel phone system, right? So if our PBX can totally work with a hotel PMS. Just if you have such a case, please check with us to see if the PMS is needed. You can surely check with StreetWave with that. Of course, this solution works especially fine for bigger hotels, luxury hotels. But here we have some example and how it works. Well, I will not bother you with too many technical details, but basically we do it through a middleware called char. And of course, if we have API interfaces, as we have mentioned, there is always technical possibility to realize integration between our PMS and PBX, between PMS and our PBX through API. Here we have a few example of the PMS that we support, but it's not all. As I have mentioned, you can check the list. Then for smaller hotels, we have a hotel application. So for smaller hotels, they don't really need a sophisticated PMS. It's not necessary, that's very costly for them, and it's not necessary. So we have a hotel application that comes with all the features they will need. All they need to do is to install this application on the PBX, and this PBX can, and they can manage their small hotels with nothing but a telephone system, of course. It also comes with a graphic web GUI. They can just go into the system and do all the features and have all the features they will need to run their hotel. They can check in, they can do room check in, check out. They can offer room service with it. It comes with um, it comes with uh, reservation features, so they can make reservation. That's a variety of features. And of course, they can have billing report. Um, this solution works especially fine for smaller hotels, as I have said, that don't want to spend all their money on the PMS system. If you want to know more details about this hotel system, because today we don't have that much time to get into this hotel application. If you want to know more about this application, of course, you can talk to StreetWave. They will always be there to help you. And we have a YouTube channel, of course. You can also, well, you can find us on YouTube. All you need to do is to search Yeastar on YouTube, and you will find our channel. We upload new videos there every day, including the hotel one. So if you're interested, you can go there and check. And well, of course, you can also see other videos talking about all of our features, how to configure them, tutorials, and of course, feature introductions of every specific little features. So you will find them on our YouTube channel. As I've said, we have new videos every week. So that's a great place to get more knowledge about the Yeastar. Okay, let's get back to the presentation. This hotel application, well, is not free, but it's certainly way more economical than the hotel PMS that is more suitable for small hotels. It's a one-time charge. It's not annual payment or the subscription-based payment. This is one-time charge. You can buy from us. You can buy from it. You can buy from StreetWave, and you will have this hotel application installed on the PBX. We have an app center in our PBXs where you can find all those applications that we have mentioned. The VPN server, as you can see here, we have a billing system, and of course a hotel system. Okay, here is more detailed feature for this hotel application. So we can do check-in, check-out, room reservation, room status. We can set different prices for making phone calls. We can have bill report. We can switch rooms. We can have wake-up calls. We support mini bars. We can do room cleaning alert, things like that. Basically everything you need to run a small hotel, small nice bed and breakfast. You can have all of those features with our hotel applications. So with hotel business, we have solution for big hotels. We can work with over 100 PMS, as I have said. So for smaller hotels who don't want to buy PMS, we can offer them hotel application. Okay, call center. As I have mentioned, we are working with a professional company that is called Q Metrics. I believe this is a European company uh, from Switzerland, I believe. Yeah, called Lowway. So we are working with them. We are working with their call center kit. They are very professional. They have on-premise solution. They have on-cloud solution for call center kit. You can always if you have call center business, if you have call center projects, you can always combine our PBXs with Q-metrics with no problem at all. Okay, well, we have mentioned API before. With API, we can always integrate PBXs with other systems because we have mentioned hotel PMS, we have mentioned CRM and call center kit. All those things are realized with API, and it has become more and more obvious that nowadays a telephone system at its full capacity needs API to be able to work with third-party integration and expand the usage and to realize automatic interaction with other platforms so it works, so it can help the customer. So we have API, and because it's an API, the development can be very, very easy. Well, if you have a project that requires interconnection or integration with third-party platform, we have API. You can, if you have capability of do it by yourself, you have engineers that can do that, fine. You can, of course, always outsource this job to other people, fine. Well, if you need, Yeastar can do that for you, no problem at all, with charge, of course, but API, but what we care most is that we have the possibility to realize such interaction for you and for the customer. We can also integrate our PBX with security and surveillance system. The thing is, most security system, when we talk about security system, we are talking about IP cameras, we are talking about door phones, things like that. They are designed to avoid using SIP server. We understand that, of course. In most scenarios, a SIP server is not necessary for those systems to work. But in some certain scenario, it is necessary. For example, if a customer needs to check real-time video stream from their camera with their desktop phone, then it's necessary. And this is a very, very interesting situation because nowadays more and more people who is running a company would have their, of course, security camera in the front door, in the major entrance of their company. And well, of course, the boss will have a desktop phone with video features on his desk in his office. And if somebody tries to enter the PBX, the system, then we have this feature that to send the video stream from the camera through the PBX to the desktop phone in his front desk to show him who is in the front door, and he can decide if he wants to meet this person or not. This is a very common feature. And of course, SIP door phone is also is something very important also in security system because, well, normally you don't need SIP server or PBX when it comes to using a SIP door phone because if all it requires is to is for the door is for the major station and indoor station to intercommunicate with each other, then you will not need any SIP server at all. But in some cases, the SIP door phone, the major SIP door phone, will have to call each other from different buildings. Like for example, if some community they have a major door phone in the main entrance to the community, and of course they have door phone on the first floor of each building, perhaps. They will need the door phone to be able to call each other across buildings. In this scenario, you will need a service provider. That means our PBXs. We can do that. And we are working with a variety of security companies. As long as it supports SIP, we can work with them. So this is also another way for you to use their PBX and where our PBX can work for you. Okay, sorry. Our PBX support video codecs of H263, H263P, H264, and PG4. This is very important. These are the video codecs that we support. Okay, let's move on. Other than all the features or the solutions that we have mentioned, there is after-sales service that is always very important for us. And we understand that even though in America you guys have service contract with many of your customers, but having your technical guys to do troubleshooting or to help your customer with their problems is always costful, okay? What we are trying to do here is to offer you a tool that can help you remotely get into your customers' PBXs and don't have to send out your technical guys to the site, to your customer physically, and this way it can save a lot of time and resource for you. So this is why we have this remote management. So what it does is, all you need to do is to register all the PBXs you installed for your customer to this platform. So you will have a platform with an account, and so you have all the PBXs registered to this platform, and you will be able to see a list of all the PBX you have installed. And you will be able to remotely log into each PBX with GUI and do all the configurations, all the tweaks, troubleshootings you will have to do. It doesn't require any internet configuration. That means you don't need static public IP address. You don't need to do port forwarding, nothing at all. Okay, we have built an uncloud service especially for this. So it's all on cloud. So you register your PBX to this platform. No port forwarding is required on any side, in any way. You will be able to, as I've said, remotely logged into the PBX of all. You can remotely log into all the PBX you have installed, do all the configurations. If the customer have problems, have issues, you can get in there and help them. And more importantly, it can alarm about the issue that is happening. For example, if one of the registered PBX has disconnected from its service provider, you will receive an alarm. So the PBX will inform you about this issue. So you will probably know about this problem even before your customer does. So this is very, very cool feature. We know well, it's not free, of course, because Yeastar has built up a cloud service for that costs a lot. It's not free, but it's certainly way more economical, way more effective than some of your other options. Like for example, TeamViewer. We know a lot of you guys use TeamViewer for this exact same purpose. But the thing is, TeamViewer is very, very expensive compared to this remote management platform, of course. And well, it requires your customer also have a TeamViewer in their computer. Okay, it's not always like that. With our remote management, the customer need nothing. Okay, all they need is that their PBX can get access to the internet. That's all. Okay, you need internet. Your customer need internet, and it will get connected. You can get into the PBX and do everything you need to help your customer. This can actually save you a lot of time, a lot of resources, because from our experience, over 70% of the issues you have with your telephone system, well, you can solve them by sitting in the office, because we, Yeastar, we have business all over the world. We have to receive issues all over the world every day, and we only have a tech support team of like 20 people in China office. Of course, we have local support in the US, of course, this I haven't mentioned before, but we have local support in the US, so they can work around your schedule with no problem at all. Um, uh, well, our tech support team in China office had to deal with all the issues coming from all over the world. Well, we know that most issues we can solve them remotely without not having to actually physically visit the customer. Well, it's the same with you guys. So all you need to do is to at least you can get into the system before you actually travel to your customer. You can check the system to see if you can solve that by sitting in your office, by tweaking the configuration in their web GUI. If so, you don't need to go. But if not, well, only by then you have to move to your you have to go to your customers. But that will save you a lot of time. You um, will make your tech support way easier and of course way more efficient. You can react quickly because well, as I've said, you probably will know about the issue before your customer does. Okay. So this is our remote management platform. As I've said, it's not free. We will charge for that. But when it comes to the price, you can just talk to Straight about it. Okay, so this is basically everything that I have prepared for this webinar. This is all my presentation. Thank you for coming. As I've said, we have a Q&A session, so if you have any questions, any doubts about us, about the product, about the solutions, you can talk to me. I will give you an answer right away. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ramon. We have just a few questions that we can answer since we are a little bit over time. There's a question that came in for multi-site interconnect function. Is there any limitation on the number of connected branch offices?
Yes, with the multi-site interconnection, we can connect in total 9 offices. That means 9 PBXs can be included in the multi-site interconnection network.
Okay, and what is the warranty?
The warranty is 3 years,
3 years.
For hardware.
Thank you. We'll have time for one more question here. What CRM is your Linkus UC app supports to integrate with?
Well, currently the Linkus can integrate with okay. Here we have a few lists, a few CRMs that we can support. And now we can work with Outlook. We can work with Dynamics 365. We also work with Zoho. Well, the Zoho will be supported in like 2 months, to be precise. So not right this moment, but in like 1 or 2 months. And we'll also Linkus work with Google Contact also. Well, it's not technically CRM, but it works. And well, of course, as I have mentioned, the Salesforce and the Sugar is interconnected with the PBX, so the SIP server. So that means Linkus can also work with them, but on the server side.
Great, thank you. That's all the questions that I do have. I do want to thank you for taking the time and doing the presentation, and thank you everyone that attended.
Thank you.
Is there any last things that you wanted to say before we leave?
Well, I just want to say thank you for every participant in this meeting. Well, because we don't really get that much chance to be able to talk directly to people out there who is promoting our PBXs or our solutions. And so, well, all of your feedbacks, your recommendation for us will be very valuable. Of course, we always do our business through our distributors, that is Straight Waves. So yeah, if there is any question about or any further question about our products, about our solution, special interests, you can always talk directly to StrictWave. They know us, they know our products, they know their stuff, and they're very reliable. Okay, that's what I have to say.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And again, this webinar was recorded, so we will be sending that out to everybody that attended here within the next couple of days. Thanks. Have a great day.
Okay. Okay. Have a great day.